Owens, who's our afternoon luncheon speaker today. As a networking concierge, Ashley works as a strategic partner during networking events and takes away the tedious task of the dreaded follow-up. Staying true to her passion, Ashley is about giving other entrepreneurs a platform and a voice. Ashley is the host of a successful TV show on RVN TV called Connect to Success, where she interviews power networkers weekly. She is the co-host of another podcast, called Successfully Screwed, so it's the second one you need to subscribe to, where entrepreneurs share their screw-ups, allowing all business owners to relate to the messiness of entrepreneurship. She is also a resident program expert on This Is It TV and a co-host of the variety show with My New Clothes. In addition to working with her amazing clients, she runs a monthly networking event, Cocktails and Conversations, which partners up with nonprofits to help fund their monthly projects. Ashley lives in Philadelphia with her husband and fat cat. Please welcome Ashley.
Thank you very, very much, Emily. Emily Savings and Emily Frost have made this one hell of an experience for me, so I sincerely appreciate both the support that HARDI has given me since I've been here, and I'm so glad I can hang out with all of you today. This is a big crowd, holy cow. All right, well anyway, thank you very much. My name is Ashley Owens, I'm a networking concierge. The biggest part about this presentation is that it's going to be interactive, which means participation is necessary. So, what I'm going to be talking about today is networking. Networking is a personal activity. It's not a one-size-fits-all practice. So the goal is to set expectations, is to pick the things that work for you. I'm not saying that you should do everything on this list. What I'm saying is that today, you can pick the things that make sense for you so you can put into practice tomorrow. So, just like learning and getting to know you, I think you should get to know me a little bit, just to break the ice. So, little fun facts about me. I'm originally from North Jersey. What that means is that we have the best bagels. Who else is from North Jersey? What part? What part? What part? Montclair. Yes, you win. What do you got? Montclair, you win as well. Very nice. Best bagels, right? Because all the Jews and Italians come from New York, and they boil them. Great, awesome. I'm also a fast talker, so if anybody needs me to slow down, I apologize. Please raise your hand. Okay, I'll slow down. Thank you, ma'am. Sorry about that. I am married to an Army veteran with no children. He's the 101st Army Infantry. He was actually stationed in Kentucky and Hawaii. So if anybody wants to hang out with him, let me know. No kids. Very, very, very stupid fat cat. My background is a little eclectic. I was previously a celebrity personal assistant to 2 celebrities in New York. Now, before you ask me who those people were, yes, it was just like The Devil Wears Prada, and yes, they still owe me therapy bills. That was in New York City. I still got a lot of stuff I gotta figure out about that. I have competed in CrossFit competitions. I didn't say I was good. I came in 33 out of 34. So basically, I participated and walked away without dying. So those are some fun facts. On a good day, I can deadlift 225. On a good day, now, not so much. Coffee filled with a bagel in my stomach, not gonna happen. Now, here's something, I just added this on today. So in order for me, because I do talk very fast, because I enjoy the conversation, I'm very passionate about what I do. Anybody here see Hamilton? Raise your hand. Yes, you know that, thank you very much. You know the song My Shot. Okay, so I obsessively need to learn how to be more mindful in the way that I speak. So I learned all of the song so I can dictate words better. So, get a little tequila in me, and this might be a performance. I've been in 12 movies as an extra. That's another little fun fact. I used to work as an intern for a casting company, and they couldn't pay me. So it was an internship, and what they did is that they put me on movies, so that way I can just be there as an extra. Basically, I was a tree for about 12 different movies, but the only cool skill that I gained from it was the fact that I can sleep anywhere, because you're on set for 12 hours, so in between takes, you gotta take a little micro nap. So I can sleep on planes, trains, automobiles, whatever it may be, but that's the only skill I gained from being on set. I once ate a Carolina Reaper. Does anybody know what a Carolina Reaper is? You can start laughing because it was just as painful as you think. Thank you, sir, in the back. I appreciate you acknowledging the fact that Carolina Reapers are awful. Thank you very much. Cool. All right, so here's the participation part. On a networking scale from 1 to 10, how much does networking suck for you? Raise your hand. You all raise your hand for Carolina Reaper in New Jersey. You can't raise your hand for how much networking sucks for you? Anybody? Yes? 5? Okay, why is it 5? I'm gonna come down. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I got you full of food. Sorry. No, you did it great. I was so proud of you. Go ahead. Why does it suck?
Because I understand how important it is.
Yeah.
But initially, when I started growing my career and everything,
Yeah.
it felt like I was taking advantage of people. Like I was just trying to I need to know this person so I can move and get ahead. But now I kind of understand it's more about building relationships and what I can do for them.
Understood. Okay.
But I'm still learning how to do it better. So I'm kind of
So kind of waiting from the transactional, not really kind of focusing on what you can get from them, but what you can give to them.
Yeah.
Great. Anybody else? I'm coming to you, so make these heels work for me. Anybody else? Come on, guys. Who else hates networking? You looked at me in the eye, sir. John looked at me directly in the eyeballs. An 8. Why is it an 8 for you?
I don't like to be the center of attention, so.
Oh, okay. So this is helpful. Okay. Making sure. Okay, what about yourself, ma'am? How much does it suck for you? It sucks for me, I can tell you why. Go ahead.
I'd probably go with an 8.
Not being the center of attention? So you like the one-on-ones better?
A little bit.
Okay. Understood. Oh, bad at names. That's been a common theme this whole weekend, or this whole week. One more person, I promise I'll go back on stage and not bother anybody else. Oh, Mark, you looked so excited to talk to me.
Of course.
Thank you very much. Hi, Mark. Nice to meet you. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, what are we talking about? Networking.
No,
Nice.
I
Welcome
got
to the
that
party.
much.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how stressful is networking?
It's not at all for me.
Oh, good. Okay. Why is that? What? No. So why?
People, I like knowing people.
Yeah. Is there anything about it that may or may not stress you out? Like if it's a big crowd, a smaller crowd, maybe you don't know anybody.
Not really.
So you're perfect? Is that what you're saying?
No,
Great.
not
Okay.
perfect. Not at all.
That's what I heard. Anybody else hear that? That's what I heard.
It's scary.
Got it. And stress can be different for everybody else. So when it comes to networking in general, it can be ranged from not knowing how to follow up, not understanding the right kind of communication style. We're going to talk about all that today. I'm not really great for being on stage. You guys good with me here? Can you all hear me still? Awesome, cool. So here's a poll. How many people have worked in sales before? I think everybody's hand should probably go up, right? Okay, awesome. This is just a poll for me to see who's in the room. And then what's the difference between networking and sales? There's 300 people in this room. Somebody's got to answer this. One more time, sir.
One you get money right away, the other you have to work for.
One you get money right away, the one you got to work for. Okay, anybody else? There's no wrong answer here. It's just participation. One more time? Commissions. The difference? Yes. Your beard is magnificent, number 1. One more time? Transaction versus relationship. You and I are going to knock heads. I apologize. Transaction instead of relationship? Okay. Anybody else? Yes. Networking, you're selling yourself. Sales, you're selling a product or service. Okay, great. And how many times a month are you guys at networking events? Because this is a huge crowd, let's go networking events. Let's say 4 times a week. Raise your hand. 3 times a week. Raise your hand. 2 times a week. Are you guys not going to networking events? Sir, thank you very much in the very far back for raising your hand very, very coyly. I appreciate that. Anybody else? How many times a week are you guys going to networking events? 7 a week, every day? Holy cow, that's a lot. All right, and how many hours a week do you spend doing networking activity, follow-ups, things of that nature? Just yell out some numbers. 2 hours a week? 4 hours a week? Anybody? 5, 6? Okay, awesome. All right. And how many times, this is an actual question, how many times does it take to follow up before a meaningful connection is made? 5. Who said 5? 3? Keep going. Keep going. 7? Keep going. Close. Between 9 and 11 times. That's if you haven't met that person before. Or maybe you had a connection with them on LinkedIn. But when it comes to meeting for them for the first time and actually making a meaningful connection, it takes between 5 and 6 times. All right, here's the agenda for today. This is going to be a workshop type thing, meaning that you don't actually have to write anything down, but it's more of, hey, I'm going to need your participation. So we're going to talk about the reality of networking. So steps to get started. We're going to talk about knowing yourself and knowing your audience. And then we're going to plan your work and work your plan, tools and resources, and then how I can help you. So all these things are tactical information about networking, not about build relationships, because everyone talks about that. You're all here, so you know how to do that. My goal is to give you tactical things you can do today, so that way tomorrow is a little bit easier for you in your networking activity. All right, here's the problem with people, because people suck sometimes. So you know, pocket square guy and perfume lady that will just lock you in a room and try to tell you about their robust 401k. They're trying to sell you something. Then you've got the person who likes to drop names and exact number of LinkedIn connections as soon as they meet you. Those people are just throwing out numbers like they're trying to figure out the Fibonacci sequence. Then you've got the person that, you walk up to somebody, shaking your hand, they look over, and they're looking at everybody else except you. Those people drive me crazy. So here's a truth bomb, okay? You all ready for this? It's very exciting. Nobody gives a damn about what you do. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about what position you're in. Nobody cares about any of those things. No one's going to give a damn until you give them a reason to. And people buy emotionally. People invest emotionally. So what are you doing to stand out? So here's the reality. People who genuinely care will chat with you, will talk to you. They won't talk at you like an Italian mother asking you when you're going to have kids. The only people who genuinely care are going to help you anyway. So these people are most likely going to be doing something incredibly kind because they care about you as a person and not just a lead. They're the ones, who will call you and invite you to go out to dinner, see if they want to hang out, seeing how you're doing. Because, at the end of the day, you're not going to ask for unrealistic favors. If someone comes to you and says, hey, I need $25,000 for my event. You think you can spot me some money for this event and just sponsor it? That's not something that that's not a realistic favor. They're going to ask you for an introduction that takes 2 seconds of your time. So here's another question. What's the maximum number of people we can maintain relationships with and have social interactions with throughout your entire life? Number-wise. You guys could guess. 5? I don't even like 5 people, but close. No. Little higher. Nope, keep going. In your entire life that come in and out of your life that were meaningful in some way. Close. Oh, who said 150? Oh, winner, chicken dinner. Very nice. Thank you, blue shirt guy. Yes, 150 people. Yeah, way to go. 150 people in your lifetime. So what does that mean? That means as a human with science, you can only fit 100 people in your life in those slots. Who are you filling those slots with? Are they every single conversation you have? Is it every single meeting you need to go to? You don't have to go to everything. You don't have to talk to anybody. But this 150 people are the ones that need to be in those slots. So how are you spending your time? All right, so here's some stories. So has anybody heard of William Dawes? Anybody know who he is in history? No, and there's a reason for that. Both William Dawes and Paul Revere did the exact same thing. They, according to Malcolm Gladwell's The Tipping Point, this is the reason why Paul Revere became famous. He was an information broker. They both rode on from Boston the night of April 18, 1775. They sounded the alarm, and they rode into town of similar characteristics. So what happened is that Paul Revere targeted well-connected people in his ride, and that news spread quickly and wildly. So William Dawes was not an information broker, so he didn't really get a chance to spread the news as much as Paul Revere did. Now take that same concept and put it into the kind of connections, the kind of information that you give out about yourself and about your business and about who you are as a person and who people are buying from. If it's not getting to the right people, you're going to end up like William Dawes. You're doing the exact same thing as the next guy, but you're not hitting the right people. All right, here's step 1, okay? We're gonna break this down into 3 steps. Knowing yourself. Knowing yourself is super important. When I started my position, my job, my career, my business, I had trouble figuring out what I was good at because like women, we like to overthink things. So what I did was I took an emotional intelligence assessment, either DISC, predictive index, Myers-Briggs, whatever it may be. It proved in black and white that I had specific motivations. I was never going to be good at math, ever. So why pretend that I was going to be good at math? I was never going to be good at this task. So I kept trying to overcompensate in every single position I had because it's what I was told to do. When I took these emotional intelligence assessments, I now was able to figure out, oh my gosh, well, what if I tripled down on those strengths? What if I actually made a point to figure out this is what I was meant to do? So the point is that you're able to see, in general, based off of these assessments, identifying the kind of networker you could potentially be, but then also figure out what motivates you to get things done. Then you pick the networking activity that fits and aligns with your personality. So here's, mindset is just so wildly used all over all the time. It's kind of like the entrepreneur word. Everyone uses that, thinks it's sexy, but they don't really understand that it's a lot of hard work. But mindset really is just thinking differently, right? It's just, I'm using the word mindset because it's normal. But the thing is that what's your typical approach when it comes to networking? Do you think of it as growth, achievement, and accomplishment? Are you thinking that it's obligating, you're obligated for professional reasons? Or is it a necessary evil, or do you think it's a chore? If you fit in either of these areas, there's things we're going to talk about to actually shift that so that way it doesn't feel that you're in that prevention stage, but more into that promotion stage. So especially when it comes to people that said that they were a little bit lower on the spectrum as far as when it comes to hating networking or how networking sucks for you, you think that's inauthentic sometimes, or you think that it's a waste of time. So shifting that with these tools will actually help bring from prevention to promotion. All right, here's some tactical activities. These things have worked because I have tried them. So what do you want to do first? Hello. There we go. Go above and beyond, okay? What that means is that if you're going to a networking event, some good tactical tips, get there early. Half the time the coordinator needs help. If you get there early and you help them out and you maybe put a chair or two down or set up some tables, get to chatting with the coordinator who knows everyone that is showing up. If you're there, you're participating in a event, one, without getting paid, but volunteering your time. You get to know who they are, what their organization's about, and I bet you they'll make some introductions because you were there to help, okay? The next bit to this is volunteering to register people in. So especially if you're introverted, sometimes it can be really, really scary to go into a room full of people you don't know. I understand that. The only difference between being an extrovert and an introvert is introverts lose energy in big crowds, extroverts gain it, okay? So as an introvert, if you're going to an event and you don't want to feel like it is overwhelming, get there early, ask to volunteer to register people in, because now you see who's coming to the table. You can see what their title is. You can see if they might be, a good person to chat with. You leave the registration table, go back into the room, and now talk to the people that you want to chat with. That gives you the power of making the decision to talk to that person. The next, obviously go where there's food or drinks, okay? Extroverts will be there, no problem. Introverts hang out. Go where they're the corner of the bar. There's always activity. And if you crack a joke about what that person's drinking or how much coffee that they're having, that's a great conversation starter, okay? Talking to the wallflower. Who here is a wallflower? It's not gonna be bad. It's not a bad thing. Yes, thank you for, I got you, buddy, thanks. So being a wallflower just means that you are extremely creative and like one-on-ones. You're probably a decision maker of some sort in your position. Talking to the wallflower allows you, one, to warm up, maybe just kind of understanding the room, getting a chance to know who's there, but talking to the wallflower means that you're talking probably to a decision maker and somebody who's incredibly creative. The other one is forget your 30-second pitch because nobody gives a damn. Okay, I don't care what position you have. I want to know how many kids you have, where you grew up, because that builds the know, like, and trust factor. I gotta know you, I gotta like you, and then I gotta trust you. The other bit to that is nervous. That's okay, we're gonna play a game. Just kidding, we're not gonna play a game. But the game is when you go to events, see how many questions you can ask that person before they ask you what you do. These are called deep, meaningful business conversation questions. We're going to go through all of that in a later slide, but these allow you to actually ask questions so you can understand how to respond to them, whether it's in a sales activity or if it's a way to collaborate and cross-promote with that person. All right, here's some great ways to communicate effectively. Anybody have any questions so far? I'm a fast talker. Ma'am, are you okay back there? You good? Okay, awesome. So here's how to communicate effectively. Making your name memorable is extremely important. I'm not saying walking into a room and peacocking it, okay? Nobody likes that person. That person needs to go back to the bar, okay? We don't like that person. Point is that if you're giving yourself permission to engage in a way that is vulnerable, you're going to get more connection with that person you're chatting with. So if you're making your name memorable, it's sure as hell not going to be what kind of title that you have. It's going to be what kind of hobbies you have. What kind of things do you have that are like-minded with the other person you're chatting with. Human behavior things allow you to communicate more effectively, so it resonates over time. End a conversation with the future in mind. Everybody here have a phone, right? Everybody here has a phone. You just nod. That's cool. Great. Awesome. Everyone here has a phone. If you wait 24 hours after you grab a card from an event, that lead is already warm. It's already cold. The reason being is if that conversation is going really well, take out your phone, put it on the calendar. You know what? I'd love to continue this conversation. Can we grab coffee on Friday? You pull out your phone, and they start to balk a little bit. Those people that are like, oh, I'm not really sure, then you know they're full of it, right? But if you put the appointment on your calendar right away, you're going to show that there's a need to meet with that person, and also that they're also excited to meet with you as well. So that way, you leave a conversation or leave an event with 4 meetings and not 10 cards that you're probably never going to follow up with. The other bit to this is handle an awkward moment. Anybody know how to handle an awkward moment? Just be professional. It's not rocket science, guys. Just take the situation and start figuring out ways to introduce that person to somebody else. Be professional, because your reputation at the end of the day is all that you have when it comes to you, yourself, and your business. Plan structured next step conversations. Again, it's the same bit. If you're going to meet with somebody, put it on the calendar. Put it into a CRM system. Identify needs that both of you have that are outside of the positions that you both acquire. So it allows you to continue that conversation and nurture that relationship. Recognize storytelling opportunities. I cannot stress this one enough. When you're telling a story about how you helped a client, that's going to resonate most rather than telling people what you do. So you can still tell people what you do without them really caring, but if you're out there telling them, hey, here's what I did for my client, here's how I helped them, that way when that buzzword or that story comes up again, they know to reference you. And build a diverse network. We all network with people that look like us, okay? It's common. Women typically do not network with other women unless it's a women's event. We typically don't go up to other women at events, and we typically go up to people that look like us or think that could be potential prospects. I'm guilty of it as well. I had the wonderful opportunity that has now sprung into other opportunities where I emceed a African American Women's National History Month gala, and they asked me to MC. Only white person there. It was the best experience I have ever had. I wouldn't have sought that out unless I had a mutual connection, and shame on me. Everybody at the end of the day is doing something similar. So if you're diversifying your network, the opportunities grow. And track the value of networking activities. If anybody doesn't have a CRM tool, we're going to go through what that is. And we're also going to talk about how if you keep track of the networking activities, you're going to see where your leads are coming from, where your great connections and referral partners are coming from, and you can see it using data. All right, here are the deep, meaningful business conversation questions. I'm not going to go through all of them, but the ones that I really like the most is, what industry do you find the most success in? And the reason why this one's important is because you're not asking them, like, what kind of clients you got? You know, who's fancy over there? You know, it's more of, what industry do you, as a person, as a business owner, find the most engaging and exciting? That way, you're not, it's like having those people tell you, well, I can work with anybody. I want to poke your eyes out. No, you don't. You don't work with everybody. You work with people that make sense for your business. You can work with the majority of people, but there's typically, not everybody's working with everybody. You can't do that. There's a niche, there is a likability that you have for a specific industry. This allows you to be able to refer that person further on down the line. And then, who are your strategic partners is good. That way you don't feel like you have to give them a lead when they ask, oh, how can I help you? You can ask, who do you like working with? Who's a good referral for you? Not in business, not in a lead-wise, but who's a good person that you can work with in tandem? So what that means is, for example, a real estate agent and a divorce lawyer are really good strategic partners. Does anybody know why? Go ahead, what is that? Yep, when they get divorced, they gotta downsize, right? But they're not competing with each other in that industry. They're just gonna be using each other typically as vendors in that way. So these DMBCs are really helpful because it's not like, who are you? You're like, why do you think you're awesome and what's your business? These are some great ways to have those conversations. Anybody have any questions so far? Awesome, cool. 11 graceful ways to end a conversation 100% of the time. I have personally tried every single one of these areas. So before I even bring this up, ladies, if you could do me the honor of raising your hand. Gentlemen, look around. Here are the subject matter experts in leaving a weird conversation gracefully. If you have any questions, please resort to the subject matter experts in the room. Ladies, we are fantastic. You can go take a nap during the slide, have a cocktail, whatever you want to do. But anybody have any questions, please go to the ladies in the room. So here are some great ways to end a conversation work 100% of the time. Duh, say thank you and goodbye. This is normal. Phone home. Anybody have kids? Please raise your hand. Use them. I had kids, lots of times. Some twins, a little boy that played baseball. It was great. You never know. Sometimes you need to use some of these tricks to pull out of your purse or pull out of your back pocket to use. So you can phone home and then ask, is there anybody else who you should meet? This is a great one, especially if the conversation's going well, but you need to work the room. Like, hey, Randy, I am actually trying to meet other people around here. Is there anybody else you think that you know here that you think I should meet? That gives them, this whole table, thank you. This gives him an opportunity to be a networking concierge for you. He's actually taking your hand and making introductions, so now your credibility goes up. The other one is introduce to the person somebody else that you know. Again, it's just on the flip side of that. I have been guilty of, earlier in my career, to pass along some very strange people over to some good strategic partners of mine and not give them any indication that was the case. So don't do that to your friends because that's mean. But otherwise, use people that you have there with you as advocates for you and your business. Ask directions to the restroom. This always works. Offer to deliver a drink. The one reason why this is good is because it changes the scenery. You go to the bar, you go to the buffet, there better be a bar or buffet, depending on these events because, everyone's hungry. But the idea is the fact that you can use that as an opportunity to change the scenery, and the extroverts will come over to the new person, and it'll give them a different way, a different direction. And that will also give you another opportunity to introduce that person. And then always ask if you're going to meet the person at a future event. The reason why that is important is because if you're having a good conversation, or a bad one, whatever it may be, it gives you an opportunity to see what other organizations, what other networking boards, events, opportunities that you possibly could be invited to as a guest. A lot of the times, networking organizations will have members that need to bring guests to kind of boost up their membership. So if you can take advantage of the fact that you can do that, it allows you to now spread your wings a little bit, take a look at other areas to be a part of, and find the right networking organization that works for you, or right club or group or whatever it may be. Getting leadership opportunities in those organizations really holds a lot of water because you're looked at as the go-to. This gives you more credibility. This allows you to expand your network and be more intentional about the introductions that you make. Again, ask for the other person's card, give them your card. Here's a question. I thought about this last night. Anybody not bring cards to events? There's no wrong answer. There are people that love them, people that hate them. Your first name's Denise?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wonderful. Why did you not bring cards to an event? There's nothing wrong with it, I'm asking.
Because I have a stack of business cards on my desk that people have given me that I've never looked at.
Stack of business cards on your desk that you've never looked at. Wonderful. Anybody else?
And when I look at them, I can't remember where I met them or why.
Exactly. I got a slide for that, I promise. I got you, Denise. Anybody else? I get back and forth between both of these areas. Some people love bringing cards, some people don't. It's your prerogative. My opinion on it is that if you are bringing your card to an event, use it, but don't overuse it. If you're not bringing cards to events, you have the power. Okay, that means is that as an introvert, again, Denise, if you don't want to bring cards to an event, you are now in control of the conversation. You can ask the DMBCs, the Deep Meaningful Business Conversation questions, and if they are of like-minded in that way that you want to continue the conversation with, it's up to you to make that connection. Otherwise, you're going to have a stack of business cards on your desk. So depending on what makes sense for you guys, you can do either or, but make sure that you follow up because that is the one thing most people don't do. And then always ask to connect on social media. LinkedIn is king right now, guys. If nobody has a LinkedIn profile, please see me after. You have to have a LinkedIn profile. It is so powerful, it's so engaging, and it's the way a lot of people do business. I'd be happy to help with any of that. I'm not a subject matter expert in LinkedIn, but I sure as hell know 3 people that are. Always plan and get together, especially if it's a good conversation. Put it on your phone, good to go. Cool. Here, best part, planning your work and working your plan. Okay? What this means is that if you're maintaining your data and you're sending them a thank you email with a referral or an article, whatever it may be, this allows you to now make your networking activity more intentional. So when it comes to maintaining your data, does anybody here use a CRM system? Everyone raise your hand. What do you guys use? HubSpot? Oh, good life choices. Anybody else? One more time? Pipeline. Pipedrive or pipeline? Pipeline, okay. But you guys take the contacts that you have and put them in there of some sort, right? Okay. This is really important to do. Even if it's an Excel file, start doing it, because those people, like Denise was saying, that you're going to forget, it allows you to now be more intentional about the contacts that you have, because now you're physically putting them into a database. One of the things you should also start doing too is that if you forget, because I also forget, again, I network for a living, so I'm not going to be perfect, not like Mark over here. Sorry. But the goal is that if you can make it intentional at the very end of your at the very end of the event, on the back of the card, keep a pen in your back pocket, in your ear, whatever it may be, the date and the location. It's going to save dumb you from the next day. Smart you is going to save dumb you, because I will forget if it's out of sight, out of mind, unless I put it on the card. Then I remember who I said I was going to introduce them to, and I live up to my word. Connect with them on LinkedIn, schedule follow-up activities, and schedule follow-up meetings. These are dumb moments, guys. But here are the great ways to continue to use them. Again, maintaining your data. Write the name and the location on the back of that card that day. No excuses. You can do it. Again, the reason why I'm being so passionate about it, because I'm literally talking to myself as well. So it happens. The other bit to that is that make a template to save time. When you're sending out thank you emails or follow-up emails from that person that you met, especially to continue the conversation, put them in your sales pipeline, whatever it may be. Anybody use templates to do this? Yeah, use templates. Do you use Outlook?
I use ACT.
Okay. So any kind of templates that you use, Outlook will use canned responses. If you guys don't know what that is, I'd be happy to show you what that is later. And then Gmail will use, I lied. Gmail's canned responses. Outlook is quick parts. Quick parts will allow you to save a template, add a few additional areas in, or add a few additional text in that area, and that way you can actually save some time. All right, tools and resources. If you take anything from this presentation, pay attention to these. These are the things that are going to save you time, money, and a lot of headache. If you've got cards and you don't have a CRM system, there's a tool called CamCard. You can take a picture of it. It allows you to track all that information. What I love to do is I love to tag the industry attached to that card. So when I'm sitting with a power partner or a strategic partner and they say, hey, I need to look for people in this industry, pull up my phone, know exactly who I met, and I can go by industry. It saves you time, and it gives you efficiency around that activity. HubSpot is a great CRM tool that I use. It also has a card reader, which is great, and it's also free to use up to a certain amount of contacts. Pipedrive is another one. I think you got to pay $14 a month for it, but it's also very, very, very user-friendly. Zapier. Anybody use Zapier? Ooh, do you like Zapier? You love it. Why do you like it? Yep, if you guys can't hear him, what it does is it connects different systems together. So if someone sends me an email and I have it scheduled, what happens is it'll zap into another action. So if I have somebody signing up for my newsletter, it'll get zapped into my calendar of some sort. Again, these are tools that I'd be happy to send you guys over. I am not affiliated with any of them. These are just tools that I use. If you take anything from this conversation today, it's going to be Calendly. Does anybody here use Calendly? Thank you. Do you love it? Kind of. Okay. Calendly is an automatic calendar scheduler. What it does is it allows you to connect to your calendar, so that way it only shows available time. So as you're building up your network, as you're identifying the people that you want to chat with, instead of doing the 1,000 emails back and forth of when are you available? Mac coffee's this time. I don't like Italian. Whatever it may be, that allows you to give them a button to push
to schedule it on your calendar and on their calendar during the time that they want. And I'll show you an example of what that looks like, because then you can gather the data from those calendar appointments and use to see where your leads are coming from. Evernote is a great way as well. Anybody use Evernote? Yeah, see, you guys are great. Evernote, basically think of notes on steroids. It's like your notes app on steroids. It works with a computer and it works with your iPhone as well. God, words are hard today. Sorry, guys. All right, so here's my LinkedIn profile. Now, as you'll see on the right-hand side, remember when I talked about that emotional intelligence assessment, DISC, and like Myers-Briggs and all that jazz? There's a tool called Crystal Knows. Crystal Knows is a really weird invasive tool. And what that will do is, invasive as in, I'm joking, but what it will do is it will gather the information on your LinkedIn profile and push out what they think you are in the DISC assessment. So as you can see on the right-hand side, it gives me opportunities and options to say, hey, I need to call Ashley. Here's the best way to communicate with her based off of the algorithm in LinkedIn. So that tool I use, especially if I'm learning about somebody for the first time or if I'm prospecting with a client, it gives me an opportunity to see, hey, this is how I need to communicate with this person, because I'm a fluffer. And sometimes half those people are all, dominant, and they're very, very concise in the decisions that they make. Anybody have any questions about these tools? Awesome, cool. All right, Calendly, again, I'm gonna speed it up, but Calendly allows you to see, based off of data, where all my calls were coming from last year. So as you can see on the right-hand side here, you have Calendly, and I broke out all of the calls based off of the answers those people gave when they clicked on the link. So somebody gets the link, they click on it, they answer a few questions, first name, last name, to what do I owe the pleasure of speaking with you on, and also how did we connect. That how do we connect every quarter gets put into this graph, this very simple graph, so I know where all of my connections are coming from. I made 346 calls last year. Calls that came to me, that scheduled with me. All those, I thought they were all coming from my newsletter, but they were not. I had one person from my newsletter. They all called from referrals and LinkedIn. Here are some great templates to use when somebody's connecting with you on LinkedIn. I can send these over to you guys. These are super helpful, but basically it's using that Calendly link, especially when they're requesting to connect with you. It gives them an option to actually schedule some time just to get to know that person. You still hate networking events? Anybody still hate them? Well, panics looked. Okay. Other qualified options, speed networking. Anybody do speed networking? Guys are so quiet. It's all right. I'm loud enough for everybody. Speed networking is great. It allows you to stay in control of the conversation and ask those deep, meaningful business conversation questions. Shaper is an app that will allow you to swipe right or swipe left on professionals without it being weird. It gives you an opportunity to communicate with that person. They also give you templates. Power Match is a fantastic organization that matches up like-minded individuals to cross-promote and to collaborate. The woman who runs it, her name is Sarah Rosenberg, and what she does is that she pairs you up with people. There's no selling involved, but it builds up your network, and there's virtual options as well. She'll schedule you to meet, but again, because everybody's in different states, there's virtual options so that way you meet people all over the country based off of like-minded professionals. And the 50-cent ask between the difference between a 50-cent ask and a $50 ask. If you're going to your clients and they already know you, like you, and trust you, and you go to them and say, hey, I am looking for other people that could potentially use my services. Then you're asking a decision maker to go through the Excel file in their head and give you some random person that they know. And that's not applicable. But if you ask them for the 50-cent ask, which is, hey, I'm looking for people in this industry. Can you introduce me to somebody that you trust? Here's a paragraph that you can copy and paste and make that introduction. That allows them to make one less decision and give them no reason to say no. LinkedIn pods. Anybody, especially my marketing people, look into LinkedIn pods. What that means is you get a bunch of people that are like-minded and also share clients with you. You put them in a messenger format in LinkedIn, and then all of you share each other's links of what you're doing, what you're up to, so each of you can share that and comment on that. It builds your audience and engages around the same industries or similar industries. All right, because I only have like 2 seconds left. Here are some pro tips. Bringing your little black book to meetings is huge. People who are VIPs in your book, little black books, comes with the business cards in those little back books. You hand it over to somebody who you're working with and say, who do you want to meet? Building a VIP list, because you never know who you're going to talk to, especially if you have an event going to. If they're power partners and people you know you could never refer to, but you really think they could be an advocate for you and your business, add them to a VIP list for those workshops, trainings, events that you're having, because they're going to be very, very helpful for you. Keep a distribution list. Again, these are things that you guys know. And always do what you say you're going to do. If you're going to make a referral, make the damn referral. Don't wait 14 days to do it and say, oh, I forgot. Don't wait until that person responds. Everyone's an idiot, okay? Everyone is an idiot. At the end of the day, you can trust yourself. So if you're going to follow up, you do it first. Do not wait for the other person. Don't give them an opportunity to flake on you. If you're going to follow up, or if you think that they're not going to follow up, you follow up first. Always go to panel discussions where the CEOs are. You guys are in a great position right now to be able to do that. But that, when you're using these search terms, especially on, let's say, Eventbrite, which is a great tool to use for networking events, the CEOs are usually not going to be at events that are smaller. They're sending their minions. But if they're at roundtable discussions and conferences and things like that, you're able to meet with those people afterwards. So be more intentional about the people that you're meeting with. And then teach somebody something. If you're teaching somebody something, that's going to resonate further, faster in regards to your industry, because they feel like they can trust you and you have the knowledge to be able to take them to the next step with that conversation or with that engagement. And again, guys, in conclusion, because my throat hurts, in conclusion, knowing yourself and knowing your audience and planning your work and working your plan are super, super important. But also fail hard. Fail hard and fail fast. If you're going to put your foot in your mouth, do it hard and fast so that way you don't screw up again. Because if you're anything like me, I was raised by an Irish Catholic father. Definitely had my foot in my mouth once or twice. So, and I was made very much aware of it. So the goal is if you fail hard and fail fast, you don't have to worry about figuring it out later on because you did it already. And networking is a marketing opportunity and not a sales one. That is the difference between a networking and sales. If anybody wants all of these tools, if you text this number, focus to 33777, I will give you a list of all of these tools we talked about, so that way you guys have it, and as well as the deep, meaningful business conversation questions and all of the templates that I have regarding LinkedIn and things like that. Anybody have any questions? No? Well, thank you all very, very much.